Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm going to create one calculator. Okay, and going to create name calculator. So name calcicrovia. Fine. So here user will enter first name, last name, and he will click on the button. Whenever he will click on the button, we have to display the full name. Okay, it's my requirement. So first we will create two input where user will enter the first name, last name. Okay, so lightning input, label name, first name, type. So user can enter text type of value. Fine. Going to create last name one, and I'm going to create one button. So giving some space, then I'm going to create one button. So for that we have light button, variant is equal to success. I want to create green button. If you want to create red, distractive. If you want to create blue button brand, you can use. Okay, label name, I'm going to write full name, uh, and I'm writing icon name. So going to add motorcycle icon, custom, custom 80. So any icon you can add. And okay, if you by default icon we will get on left side. If you want to add on right side icon, so you can write icon position is equal to right. Okay, so going to preview it and checking I'm getting the UI or not. Yeah, I'm getting UI, first name, last name, full name. Now I'm going to write the title also, heading, name calculator, and going to add the icon here also. So any object name you can write, any icon you can add. Whenever you will create the card, try to add the icon and title. Okay, I have created. Now what I want to display the information also, like first name, last name, full name. Okay, I want to display the information also, first name, last name, full name. So till now we are not storing the information anywhere. Okay, so where we can store the information, whatever user will
or
enter in first
attribute.
name and last name, where we will store the information in Aura attribute. Good. So I'm going to create attribute. In attribute, there are two mandatory attribute which we have to write. First is name,
Name and type.
second is type. Which type of value will store in this attribute? Second is last name, and third is full name. Okay, so three attribute I have created. So value is equal to B dot attribute name. Okay. So when user will click on the button, I'll display complete output. So I'm firing on click C dot show name. There is one function show name function. Okay, I have to call it. So go to the JS and write the logic in JS. So now I want the value in JS file from component. So which method we will write? Component
Yes,
dot get
component.
and here v dot
F name.
attribute name f name. So whatever user will write, that value will come here. So what you can do, you can store in variable. You can create variable in JS file, then you can store it. Same things I am doing for last name. And I am also writing the logic. So I've created one variable in which I am storing full name. So fname JS plus last name JS. Okay. Then I have to send the data from JS to component. So I'm writing component dot set v dot attribute name in which you want to send the data. So full name. Then write the at variable name which value you want to send. Going to save it. And I'm also writing the logs. First name fname JS. Full name JS. Okay. So
F name S Jadhav. Name और last name पर
line number
10 के बाद 4 और 7
Line number
4 और 7
4 or 7. अच्छा
names कर दिया आपने name के लिए.
ठीक है. Now I'm going to print it. So b dot whatever the value we will get in fname attribute that. Okay. Last name, full name. Now I'm going to check it. functionality is working well or not. So first name I'm entering Goransu, last name Sani. Clicking on full name, getting Goransu Sani. Goransu Sani. Okay, code is working fine. But these things we know. Okay, whatever I have done, we already know. How can we create the first name, last name input field button, on click of button? How can we display the data? Okay, so these things we already know. So I have not done any new thing. But what's my requirement? What's my requirement? My requirement is that when I'll enter, whenever I'll enter any value in first name, so that value should not display below. That value should not display below. It's my requirement. If I'm entering
तो
first name,
TM,
last name, so that value should not display.
so you can remove your
Okay, first I want first
first
name,
name,
last name
last
should
name.
be here. First name, last name should be here. But whatever I'm entering, it's not display. When I'll click on the full name, that time Aditya Misra, then full name should be display. So how we can do it? How can we do it?
सर आपका क्वेश्चन है कि आपको वो जो लास्ट और फर्स्ट नेम लास्ट नेम जो लिख के आ रहा है उसको नहीं शो करना, तो आप सीएमपी में डिलीट कर देते हैं ना जो आप लिख।
डिलीट कर देते हैं means you want there is no need to write it here.
हाँ,
But
यस सर।
on click of button I want to display. If I'm writing Mukta, Mukta should not
अटा
come. And on click of
मतलब
button I want to
आफ्टर
display it.
क्लिकिंग देन द डेटा विल बी डिस्प्ले, राइट?
Yeah, it's my requirement. Okay, so how can we do it? So don't store the if you don't want to display the data on change. If you want to display the data on change function, so don't store the data in a attribute. Okay, I am entering writing as something. Okay, so it's a on change. On change event is executing, then coming the data in a attribute. Okay, so don't store the data in a attribute. Then what we have to do? Create Aura ID. We have another thing that is Aura ID. Okay, we have another thing that is Aura ID. Store the data in Aura ID. Okay, store the data in Aura ID. Fine, we are storing the data in Aura ID. Okay, now what we have to do? If we are storing data in Aura ID, we have to send in JS file. Whatever, because logic we will write in JS file. So now we have to send the data of the Aura ID from component to JS file. Okay, we know how can we send the data from attribute to JS, but how we will send the data from Aura ID to JS?
सर एक क्वेश्चन है सर, आपने और आईडी ली तो जो वैल्यू पास की आपने उसमें आईडी लिख रखा है, कंपलसरी है क्या सर उसमें?
नहीं, anything you can write. You have
जैसे हमने
write
लिखा
Aura
एफ नेम
ID
आईडी
attribute.
लिखा है।
You have write Aura ID attribute. Okay, then any unique name you can write. But whenever I create variable, okay, if I'm creating the variable in Apex class, I write different name. For JavaScript, I write JS as the extension. For or ID, I always write ID to identify it's the ID of the component. It's the variable of the JS. ठीक है, similar name you can also write. It's up to you. I follow this type of naming convention. If you want to follow, you can follow it. Okay, so now getting the data of Aura ID in JS file. So component dot find dot get b dot Aura ID name. Component dot find, you have to pass the ID. Component dot find ID, and I want the value of this ID. So dot get b dot value. Okay. Component dot find. So you have to write the ID name, which or ID value you want. So component dot find or ID name dot get v dot value. So get function, what it will do, it will give the value of this Aura ID. Dot get v dot value, it will give the value of this Aura ID, f name last name. That value we are storing in f name JS, last name JS. Okay. Now what I'm doing, on click of button, this function will execute. I want to send the data in. You can say in result, and I am also going to send the data in Aura attribute. So write the logic, component dot set p dot f name, f name JS, sending the data of f name JS, last name JS. So on click of button, I am sending the data in attribute. Okay, now I'm checking it. Refreshing the page, and now I'm entering the data, Preeti. So whatever data I am entering, it's coming. No, I'm here. I'm not getting data. Now I'm clicking on button, full name. Data is coming here. Okay. So when you want to display the data on click of button, you don't want to display the data on change function. Okay. So that time what you can do, you can use Aura ID. First store the data in Aura ID, then send the data in JS file, then from JS file send the data into, you can say, Aura attribute, then display it. Okay. That time you will use Aura ID. So do you have any doubt in this scenario? Any doubt, any query which you want to ask to me? No doubt? Go ahead, guys.
No, no, sir.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay, next
सर
question,
बट
which
ये ऐसा सिनेरियो तो हम कल भी कर रहे थे ना, ये बटन क्लिक पर तो।
बट कर तो रहे थे, सब पे कर रहे थे, बट उसमें नेम तो आ ही रहा था ना, नंबर भी लिख रहे थे, नंबर आ रहा था, ए वैल्यू ये एंटर किया, वी वैल्यू।
ऑन क्लिक वैल्यू आनी चाहिए, सॉरी, समझ गया।
हाँ। Okay, now next question, it's the interview question basically. What's the difference between Aura attribute and Aura ID? What's the main difference between Aura attribute and Aura ID? Okay, both we use to store the data. To store the data, we use aura attribute, and to store the data we use aura id in component.
गेट और फाइंड का डिफरेंस दिखाना मेरे को.
Okay, we have some syntax difference which you can write. Okay, there is some syntax difference. Means if you want the value in JS file of or attribute, we write component dot get. Okay, but for or id, component dot find dot get. Component dot get v dot attribute name first. Component dot set v dot attribute name comma JS variable name. Okay, it's a way to send the data. In AuraID, how you will get the data? Component dot find v dot sorry id name dot get v dot value. Okay, how can you set the value? Component dot find AuraID name dot set. Okay, write the variable name JS variable. Which value you want to send? Which value you want to send in AuraID? Okay, use set JS variable name, then send it. Okay, so it's the syntax error. What's the main difference? We can display the value of attribute on UI. Okay, next is aura id. We cannot display the value of aura id on UI. Okay, it's the main difference. If you are storing the data in aura id and you have to display the information, you can't. Okay, you never display the data of the aura id, but you can display the data of the attribute. Okay, so whenever you will get the scenario and you have not to display the information on UI. Okay, so there is no need to create the attribute. Store the data in aura id, then send it. Don't create the attribute. Okay, but if you have to display the information, that time create attribute, store the data in attribute. Okay, if you have not to display the data, so you store the data in aura id. If you have to display the data, so you store the data in attribute. Okay, at that time if you have to display, use attribute, else use aura id. Okay, so do you have any doubt till here?
डिफिनेशन सब दिखाना है बस.
क्लियर है ना डेफिनेशन थ्योरेटिकल सब चीज? ये इंटर में क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता था. ओके, व्हाट्स द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ओरा एट्रीब्यूट एंड ओरा आईडी? ऑल क्लियर?
यस सर.
ओके, नेक्स्ट इज ओरा इफ. Okay, we have aura if true false value we can write for condition. So here I'm going to write the, I'm going to use aura if. Okay, so what I want, when I'll click on the full name, complete UI I want to display. When I'll click on the full name, first name, last name, these things should be displayed on click of button only. Okay, first name should not be displayed. So here I am writing aura if. Okay. If aura if is true, if it is true, that time it should be display. So I'm going to create one boolean type of attribute, aura attribute name, any name you can write. Show data, yeah, show info, type boolean, yeah, and default value false. I don't want to display the data. And when we will click on the button, so I'm calling show name function and I'm going to change the value. So component dot set v dot attribute name, it should be true. Okay, so data should be display. So come aura if, now I'm going to write the logic. So aura if is true, then write the variable, sorry, attribute name v dot show info. If show info is true, that time this UI should be display. Okay, I'm going to check it. It's working well or not. So if you have to write the condition, use aura if. It's the rand. So on click of button, getting the UI. First name Garf, last name Sani, full name Garf Sani. Okay, how can we do rendering? With the help of aura if. Okay, so aura if done. Next, I'm not happy with this. You can say UI. I'm not happy with this UI. What I want to give some padding and margin. Here I want to give some padding and margin. Okay, so I want to give some padding and margin. So how can we give padding and margin? You can use CSS. Okay, create style sheet. Why CSS? You can also give. Else you can use lighting design system. Okay, so I'm going to use lighting design system. Simple write. First I'm writing margin. So in utility you will get padding as well as margin. Okay, so I'm take here we have option location. So where you want to give the margin, top, left, bottom. So I'm selecting around type of margin. Okay, so when you will click on the around, you will get many type of you can say class, medium. Okay, medium, small, x small, x small. Okay, large. So you can select anyone. Simple click on the copy code and come here, paste it. So to lightning card, I'm giving the margin. Then save it. Now check the UI. So what I'm getting margin. Okay, I'm getting margin. Now what I want, there is between lightning card and input field, there is no difference. Okay, input field is attached with lightning card. So what I want to give the padding. So it's the padding. I want to give the padding. Okay, so how can we give the padding? Go to the, you can say, lightning design system, go to the search, right padding, you will get the padding in utility, and here you will get location where you want to give the padding, top, left, right, bottom. So select any one. I have selected around, means from every side I'll get the padding. Select any code, then come here, give the padding. Okay, give the padding. So here, what you can see, we are getting the padding. There is some padding. Okay, on right side, and there's padding between button and input field. Okay, left side, right side, every side you can see the padding. If you want to give more extra padding, like you can select large one. Okay, copy this code. Only copy the class. Now again I'm checking the output. So you can see I'm getting more padding on left side, right side, below, top. So I'm getting around type of padding. If I'll enter the data, so I'll get it in a good way. Okay. So do you have any doubt? How can we give the padding? How can we give the margin? And how can we render the component? Any doubt till here?
No, sir.
Yeah, good.